Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the NXT Battleground Tampa Predict the Outcome special. What a special we have for we talk about the match card featuring tonight's NXT Battleground Tampa. We'll get you up to date and up to caught up with these matches, including what matches I'm looking forward to seeing right here. The TNA Championship is on the line. Trick Williams set the challenge. Joe Henry. I believe in Joe Henry or Trick Willie. Which one of these two men will leave Battleground as the TNA champion? We'll talk about it coming up. We'll talk about it like we Trick Willie, like say, talk about it. Speaking of that, the women's championship is online. Stephanie Victoria defends her title against Joyce, and plus Oba Fimby defends his title against newcomer. Is that Randy Orton looking like? Whatever his name is. We'll get to it coming up. We get the NXT Battleground Predict the Outcome special right here, right now, here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the NXT Battleground Predict the Outcome special. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the NXT Battleground Predict the Outcome special. We do match previews and predictions, but beforehand we get to it, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling Show here on Connect TV. Join in there, you know how to be, using the hashtag Pro Wrestling. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. You'll be notified. All right, we're gonna kick things off here on the Battleground Predict the Outcome special with this. The women's championship match right here. We get to it right quick. Jordan Grace takes on Stephanie Victoria for the women's title. And the NXT women's title is on the line. It's Jordan Grace coming as a newcomer. Jordan Grace came around last year, around this time, sometime in October. Jordan Grace made an immediate effect that she did right here at Vengeance Day earlier this year at Vengeance Day, in February. Jordan Grace came, and you see right here, Julia was part of the women's division, and now Stephanie Victoria was then the NXT North American champion. We know that Julia and Stephanie had that match, and Stephanie defeated Julia. We didn't get that one-on-one match that we were so craving to see. But Jordan Grace found her way to the women's championship match. Surprise and by politics, not politics, but however that went down and stuff. Jordan Grace looking to send a message, and Lauren Jordan Grace wants to be the woman of NXT. She's gonna have to put her panties in her panties on. Her, you know what? Jordan Grace won a no more contenders match. Jordan Grace earned the opportunity. I think she took on Julia at the time to get the opportunity. Jordan Grace looking forward to winning. This will be Jordan's first title opportunity against Stephanie Victoria. We'll see that match right there. But Jordan Grace right here getting the eye view of Stephanie Victoria. Jordan Grace will take on Stephanie Victoria for the women's championship. She put down Julia right here throughout the whole entire match 2 weeks ago to earn this shot to be the next in line, to be the number one contender. Jordan Grace with a lot of power. Jordan Grace is just that. She's a powerhouse wrestler, and she did so that night, defeating Julia and sending Julia to SmackDown. Julia is now part of the main roster of the SmackDown women's division on that side of town. But now we know Jordan Grace will take on Stephanie Victoria for the women's championship. So there's no telling. There's no secret. We know who's going to win. We know. Look for Stephanie Victoria to be the one to slam the door on Jordan Grace and take Jordan Grace down. And they'll probably have a few till Jordan starts snapping eventually. So Stephanie Victoria will win this match, and she will leave Battleground as the women's champion. For Jordan Grace and Stephanie Victoria. So what a match that's going to be coming up Jordan and Stephanie. So I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. Jordan Grace and Stephanie Vicure. So Jordan Grace will indeed lose, but she'll have another round down the road. But right now, it's Stephanie Vicure's time and her moment right here, right now. But Stephanie Vicure will among victorious over Jordan Grace. Maybe at the end of the night, Jordan Grace probably will snap on Stephanie Vicure to prove a point. See how that's going to go. Well, we're going to another match right here on Battleground. Another match that's personal, like a grudge match itself. As you can tell right here, Stacks will take on um, Tony D'Angelo. These two were weak as thieves. Now it's just now they just don't come. They don't see eye to eye, so they're gonna fight at Battleground. Now this whole thing got started at Stand and Deliver when Stacks turned his back against Tony D'Angelo. And Stacks decided that kind of left Tony D'Angelo laying. Really did indeed left him laying the way he did and stuff. Stacks, Tony D'Angelo looking to get some measure of revenge on Stacks. What Stacks had done to him, he wants to put the hour out what he did. So we'll see how that's going to be going down as well for Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. But the match should be that we'll see however that's going to be. But Tony D'Angelo and Stacks, I don't know however that was going to go down. But we're looking forward to seeing that from Tony D'Angelo and Stacks as well. But a lot of problems and issues we can tell right here. Stacks really going to be playing on Tony D'Angelo's intelligence and doing what he did to him and stuff. So, like we said, it's going to be really a lot's going to be happening that night. So, we'll be keeping a close eye, but look for Stacks to get the win over Tony D'Angelo. This rivalry is going to continue on throughout the whole entire summer. A lot of these rivalries ain't going to forward until probably like the beginning of fall. That's how I look at it, and that's how I see it. Throughout, that's what the case could be, but we will see play out eventually for him. But Stacks um, for Tony, but for something else, I guess not. Uh, Stacks. Look for Stacks to win his match. Tony D'Angelo and Stacks might get that victory um, that he's been craving for some time. And Stacks turned his back against Tony D'Angelo and did so to do what he wanted to, needed to do. Order, but look forward to seeing that Stacks versus Tony D'Angelo 1-on-1. See that match coming up at Battleground Tampa. Stacks will be over Tony D'Angelo. Another match that was recently built up that we're talking about is going to be a huge 6-man tag team match between Sean Spears' team, got what they call themselves. They look delusional, against tag team champions Hank and Tank and Josh Bridge. I didn't see this coming, but this came out of nowhere and stuff. But we saw that Sean Spears' group, they want to embarrass you know who, Hank and Tank. So I believe Hank and Tank might want to recall something. But Hank and Tank want to get their hands on Sean Spears. This happened this past Tuesday on NXT. Sean Spears and his group left and did some damage to you know who. Uh, Josh Bridge. So, well, that's not them, but we kind of know what went down and stuff. But so we saw how that went down and stuff. But Sean Spears' group really vicious and do some vicious stuff. Sean Spears, look for Sean Spears and his group to win. How can you bet against these crazy people who are they're crazy enough and they want to do something more? So look for that coming up. Sean Spears' group will win. Gonna win big coming up this tonight. So look forward to seeing that when it comes through. So look forward to seeing that. However, well, we go to this right here. The North American Women's Championship is online. As Sora Roca set to make her defense against former and the inaugural champion, um, Kiani Jordan. Kiani Jordan won this match last week. Kiani Jordan defeated Zaria. Kiani Jordan defeated Zaria. Zaria really didn't have no chance. We thought Zaria had a chance, but it really wasn't the case. Kiani Jordan picked up the win as well. Kiani Jordan coming out the blue. She gets herself a women's championship match. She was the first NXT North American Women's Champion. She won the championship just about a year ago, around this time. Now she can regain her championship and make a Sutherland and stuff on what went down. But I believe Zaria kind of, you can tell Zaria and Zora Root is going to have that breakup. We just don't know when the breakup was going to happen. And we'll kind of place it on that and try to see how that's going to go down eventually between them. But Zaria, Keanu Jordan will eventually wrestle. But right now, it's about what Keanu Jordan and Solo Ruka will fight. You can tell right here, this is going to be a interesting play for Keanu Jordan. A lot's going down, and you can tell the situation, the intensity, the probable overtones and stuff is that it's going to be to the maximus and stuff. Look for Solo Roca to retain her North American Women's Championship. Solo Roca will eventually, you know, get the upper hand. So we'll see for the NXT North American Women's Championship. We'll see if Keanu Jordan could win back a women's championship. I highly doubt it, but Solar Rokes is going to really keep her championship intact to me going forward. So we'll see how that's going to play out eventually. All right, we go over to another match that's really a championship match. These are championship matches that we've been talking about. We go to this one right here. Oba Fembi set to defend his Bourne, Miles Bourne, who kind of reminds me of Randy Orton. The internet wrestling community loves to bring up Miles Bourne. This is Miles Bourne's first championship singles match for a championship, first singles championship, and it's basically for the world championship. Miles Bourne came out of nowhere, and Miles Bourne gets the shot to perhaps become the NXT champion. Is he the NXT version of Randy Orton? We're going to see and find out what Miles Bourne can do. A lot of people are saying Miles Bourne kind of reminds you of 2009 Randy Orton. That was nearly almost 15. That was 15 years ago. And Miles Bourne gets an opportunity of a lifetime to take on the. This is his moment to win, and he's dressing like Randy Orton, wants to be like Randy Orton. Now he's got to put it to the test and see if he can defeat Oba Femi. Oba Femi has been a dominant champion as of late, and Oba Femi really showing his dominant streak. Even took on Miles, his tag team partner, Charlie Dempsey. Dempsey thought he needed to be the one to take down Oba Femi. I guess unfortunately they took down Miles Bourne, showed Miles Bourne a thing or two, but Miles Bourne came out there to talk about his disability, that he's deaf, he can't really hear. And Miles Bourne getting the shot of a lifetime with Ava, Ava in the corner, telling Miles Bourne Dempsey that hey, feel over Fimby. And Miles Bourne won the battle royal. And he earned himself a shot against this man over Fimby. Over Fimby really is going to be a dominant presence in this match. You can tell right here what Ober's going to do. And Ober made it ease with Miles Bourne, taking him down. And Ober Fimby showing Miles Bourne a thing or two of what went down. But now we kind of know that Ober Fimby and Miles Bourne will meet at Battleground 1-on-1. We'll see that match between them coming up at Battleground. They had a face off um, this past week, and the face off was about mutual respect, but we can tell that Obafemi ain't playing. Obafemi is here to play. Obafemi is here to win. Obafemi is going to dominate and defeat Miles Bourne. Miles Bourne is going to show a great showing, but Obafemi will retain his NXT championship as we roll on to um, who knows in NXT land. I think No Mercy's coming up after, but we know that Obafembi will retain his championship over Miles Bourne. So I believe this match right here will be the main event right here, no question about it. Now it's another championship that's going to be headline. I'll be shocked if this match does headline NXT, because if it does, then you can tell who's going to win. And would this be a transitional period or what? But Trick Williams set to defend, no, not Trick Williams, but Joe Henry, I meant to say, set to defend the TNA championship in a WWE event against Trick Williams, the NXT star. This is the first time ever the TNA championship defended in a WWE ring, and we get it here. Well, we know that Trick Williams has been profiled as the NXT champion, but does Trick Williams has what it takes to become a champion once again. Trick Williams knows a thing or two of being a champion. Won the NXT championship um, and retained it over a year ago around this time. And Trick Williams, a year ago, and now Trick Williams, is this his moment? This Trick moment in the sun. Trick Williams become a TNA champion? That's the question. Trick Williams getting the opportunity of a lifetime to win the TNA championship. We'll see. But never doubt Trick Williams. This whole thing got started. Trick Williams kept assaulting Joe Henry. Joe Henry didn't like it. He went to Ava and told him that hey, the champ will be online, and I think Joe Henry couldn't call. He took his anger and his frustrations out on Trick Williams, both men and stuff. Trick Williams and Joe Henry working on what was going on. And over here, Trick Williams, it's Joe Henry looking steamed and pissed off. Joe Henry looking for a fight, and Joe Henry wants a fight. He's gonna get a fight against Trick Williams. Joe Henry taking the fight to Trick Williams throughout the whole entire show. Joe Henry wants to do so. Joe Henry can be silly and funny when it comes to playful manner, but he can be playful, funny, but he can be as serious in the ring and handle his business. He's doing the Trick Williams right here, taking them haymakers to Trick Williams, as well as Trick Williams taking those shots to Joe Henry. I think Trick Williams, like Shawn Michaels like to say, Mr. NXT. But we're gonna see him out if Trick Williams have something up his sleeve. Trick Williams always have something up his sleeve. We'll see. Trick Williams, Joe Henry. Tell you right here, all bets are off. These two are gonna beat the holy dog each other. Well, they also did have a contract signing as well. Ava was presiding over the contract between Trick Williams and Joe Henry. Both men talking about their history, their lineage, about why they're passionate about the business they're in, the wrestling business. Joe Henry scratched and clawed, whereas Trick Williams did underneath Carmelo Hayes' shoes. And Trick Williams now wants to be his own man, as well as Joe Henry wants to be his own man as well. Both men taking this way, taking it personal to the max. Joe Henry doing the same, as well as Trick Williams wants to do. As we can tell the notion, both men, the fire, desire, the determination, it's excellent between them. They're gonna finally sell their differences in the ring. Like we said, yesterday was a big crowning moment for him yesterday. As both Trick Williams and Joe Henry, not yesterday, but this past week, as Trick Williams and Joe Henry did their separate concerts. If you're into alternative pop or modern, then Joe Henry your guy, because he did I Believe in Joe Henry concert. But if you into hip hop, maybe R&B or Southern hip hop, then Trick Williams is your guy. But both of them did their own separate concerts. Um, like we said, Trick Williams and Joe Henry, both of them were clowning. Trick Williams doing his concert as well. You can tell right here, Trick Williams showing out for the concert as well. Doing his concert thing, doing it the way he did it, rapping, beat bopping, all about uh, showing what about stuff. Trick Williams was giving out a hip hop concert and gave out the kind of like a good hip hop. He can really rap. Trick Williams rapping about what he been through, and Trick Williams gave a stellar concert from his rap performance and stuff. Went, went down. Then it was time for Joe Henry to lay his verse. Joe Henry did his concert. Joe Henry uh, did the way he wanted to do and stuff. Joe Henry came out there to do the concert and do it his way with the TNA Championship and his guitar. Well, Trick Williams tried to um, interfere, and try to sing and try to interrupt Joe Henry's concert, and did so right here and nail it. Show it right quick. Trick Williams, Joe Henry doing like a former TNA champion, Jeff Jarrett, smashed the guitar on Trick's knee, taking Trick out. And Trick Williams didn't see that coming. Trick Williams was laid the you know what out by Joe Henry. Joe Henry taking down Trick Williams as the way he did. Trick Williams didn't see that coming. He turned on a blind eye. Joe Henry looking mean mugging, telling Trick at his championship. Well, like I said, we'll see how that's going to be. But I believe I'll be shocked if Trick Williams, if he loses to Joe Henry, he won't recover from this. But on with Trick Williams needs this win. Trick Williams will be the one to leave Battleground as the new TNA champion. Trick Williams will put all of this to rest. That hey, he did what he wanted to do and set the example. So look for Trick Williams. Unfortunately, he got taken out tonight. But look for Trick Williams to get some more gold and become the new TNA champion. And Joe Henry and him will kind of like swap belts, have title swaps here and there for it. So look for Trick Williams to get the upper hand on Joe Henry. After what Joe Henry did to him and left him out laying the way he did. So we'll see how that's going to play out eventually. All right, that's going to do it for the Pro Wrestling Show. Presents the NXT Predict the Outcome special. We predict the matches and the card, and we'll give you insight and analysis on what's going on in NXT and the other world wrestling as well. Did my predictions come true or didn't come right? We will see. We'll have the NXT review special when it drops. Thanks for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Battleground Predict the Outcome special. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. We'll see you in NXT Battleground. We'll see you.